Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. I'm super excited to have Khiana Noel on the show. You know, I love my musical artists, our performers. They put their heart and soul into everything they do, and I love to listen to their stories. You guys do too. Welcome, Khiana. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm excited to have you. I was telling you earlier before we went live, it's very nice not to have a buffered show. You've got a good connection. We're going to hear you perform live. But before we get to that, I said that the audience loves the 411. They want to know your background, your origin story. So tell us all a little bit about you.
Oh gosh. So I'm originally from Germany. I moved to the States with my family, my mom, my dad, and my sister when I was really young. But my parents are both in the arts, not in music, but their own arts respectively. My mom was a ballerina and my dad does prosthetic wig and makeup work. And so,
Wow.
yeah, it's really cool. I moved to the States with my family and I was raised by really creative parents. And I had this dream of doing music since I was little. I remember being like 6 or 7 at a birthday party and they had a karaoke machine. And that was my first like time to shine, I guess.
Yep.
But I got super nervous to sing in front of people. So whenever I would sing in front of anyone, I would make them close their eyes and turn around. And one day in high school, my sister decided to post a video of me singing to YouTube. And it kind of made its way around my high school. And that was sort of what gave me the courage to actually do this.
You got to give thanks to her for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Right?
My sister is my rock. She got me started in all this.
Did you know you wanted to do this? Like we were talking before we went live. When kids usually kids like performing. Most kids will perform hairbrush, mirror, family. But it usually takes changes a little bit later on. You find other interests. You get a quote unquote vocation that's not in music. When did you know, all right, this is really my passion. This is really what I want to do?
Well, it started for me with songwriting. The performance part of it and being an artist, you know, as they call it, really didn't happen for me until just this past year. But I started writing songs when I was like 6 or 7, and they were terrible. But
not for a 6 or 7-year-old.
Yeah, but
you ever go back and look at those and go, "What was I thinking?"
Oh God, my mom haunted me with a book of them that she found cleaning out her storage. But yeah, I started writing songs, and I just wanted to go see what Nashville was like. And when I turned 14, my mom took me for a week down to Nashville, and I met some really amazing songwriters who've written number ones for everybody. And it was like a spark just clicked. And I was like, that is what I want to do forever. So it started with songwriting.
It's interesting because songwriting, some artists participate in the songwriting process and some don't. So you're one of the ones that has input, that get your emotions involved, correct?
Yeah,
what's that process like for you? I think that some people are collaborative and I think that's what you are because you mentioned it. And then some people only like to write their own. What's your methodology?
It's both for me. It's interesting. I started writing for other people, which is where I found my passion. So when I'm writing for somebody else, I usually do it in a collaborative sense, either with the artists themselves or with other writers and a producer or myself producing. And so that's usually really collaborative. But for my stuff that I release, I tend to write it alone, which is interesting. I don't know necessarily why that is, but I think it's maybe just I can dive deeper into my own head when I'm by myself.
Well, it's your story you're telling.
Yeah.
It's your. So let's talk about that. Where do you draw from? I hate asking the generic question, where do you get inspired? But I think it's important for people to know where that passion comes from, and when you're writing a song, how you actually get motivated or how it actually comes to fruition.
I mean, I think the classic things like heartbreak and love and life and yada yada, it's like that's all, that's all inspiration. And of course, a lot of the stuff that I talk about comes from those things. But I find inspiration, like I'll get song titles just in a conversation talking to one of my friends about nothing related to music. And they'll just say something that makes me think about a word differently or about an experience, or it relates to my life. And then it just kind of, I call it my like download. It just kind of all comes in one fell swoop, and I have to run to the bathroom and write a verse real quick or go. Like there's been so many times where I'm like out with friends or at a party or doing something with someone, and I'm just like running off to the side to put a voice memo in my phone or something.
But you gotta do it right then.
Yeah, before you forget it.
I think that's what a lot of creatives do. You have to stop in the moment and take it. Now,
yeah.
Tell me about the performance of the songs. I always like to ask this because I feel like you write it, you pour your heart and soul in, especially if you are mostly doing these on your own for yourself. When you're up performing that, do you go back to the moment where you're feeling it? Do you get emotional on stage? Do you ever lose it? I feel like if I had written a song and I knew what the real deep meaning of it was, it would be a challenge for me to get on stage and sing through it.
There's definitely times for me where that happens. I get very attached to the stories that I write because they're my stories. So yeah, I mean, there have been moments like where I've cried on stage for sure, or where I've hit like a chord that just makes me feel something. And I think for me, that happens most when I see it happening for people in the audience, because it's just kind of this shared experience. And it's like, even if there's 100 people in the crowd, if I see one person that it connects in that way with, it's like we're having our own special moment together, sharing that feeling. So that's what always makes me emotional. If I do get that way on stage, it's less about thinking of how I wrote the song or whatever, but seeing how it affects somebody else.
Sure. It's just like the old adage, I'm not crying, you're crying. You don't,
yeah.
when you see somebody get emotional, you immediately get emotional.
Yeah.
That's how I am. I am too. So tell us about 2021. 2020 was obviously crazy. No performances, at least not live, for a very long time. What's 2021 been like for you?
2021 has been amazing. I've had a lot of really cool successes. I got my first 2 million streams on a song, which was awesome.
Amazing.
I had, I think, 20 or 30 songs come out that I wrote in the past year, which is awesome. I started releasing my own music this year, which is a first for me because I've always kind of been behind the scenes writing for other people. So it's been a huge year. I mean, just one thing after the next. And of course, like there's, still COVID going on and still a bunch of stuff that's difficult, but it's been a super productive year for me. So
and what's 2022 look like?
Bigger and better, baby.
I love it.
I think 2022 is going to be a lot more focusing on writing for myself. I'm still going to write a lot for other people, but I want to really dive in and get deeper into my own stories and what I want to say. And so lots more music, hopefully some shows, some in-person shows.
Yes.
Doing some traveling with music, which is awesome. Got some opportunities to go a lot of places in the world I want to go to do music, which is great. And yeah, I just want to dive into it all.
Well, and I think you mentioned earlier that these are your stories, and even if you're telling a story for somebody else, it's like your baby, right? These are things these are your babies. As a creative, this is something that came out of you and came out of your heart, your experiences. You obviously have some sort of emotional attachment to them.
1000%.
And I love that, though. That's what I love about the creative process. And I'll ask you for more stuff later on how people can get to know more about Khiana Noel. But now it's time for a song. So tell us, I'm going to take myself off. Tell us what you're going to perform and maybe a little background on it.
Yeah. So I think based on everything that we've talked about today, I want to play you guys a song that is one that's written for someone else, but one that I wrote, because we'll have the opportunity to share my music. And if anyone checks it out after this, then we can connect through that. But I think it'd be cool to share something that is part of my story. And so I'm going to play you guys this song called Scared of Lonely. And I wrote it with my friend Kendall and my friend John. And we didn't really know what we were walking into the room to write that day. But we sat down and we were sharing, kind of catching up on life and going through all of the things. And we just started talking about struggles. And this was something that her and I really related on and have experienced in different ways. And we just ended up writing the song, and it felt like the perfect thing to say in the moment. So
perfect. All right. Take it away, Khiana Noel.
All right. It could have been anybody standing there filling your shoes. I got distracted by happiness and put all my faith in you. And it's not your fault, babe, that I built you up. I love just enough that I tried to make you be something you weren't. 'Cause I pictured you differently inside my mind. And I'm just scared of lonely. The younger me just wanted someone to hold me. How come nobody's told me that I'm good enough to be their one and only? It's not that I don't love myself, I'm just learning slowly. I'm scared of lonely. Well, maybe God's testing my patience by giving me things I can't have. But I hate feeling so complacent. I just wanted to love you so bad. Oh, but it's not your fault, babe, that I built you up. I set expectations so high to make you be something you weren't. 'Cause I pictured you differently inside my mind. And I'm just scared of lonely. The younger me just wanted someone to hold me. How come nobody's told me that I'm good enough to be their one and only? It's not that I don't love myself, I'm just learning slowly. I'm scared of lonely. And it's not your fault, babe, that I built you up. I love enough that I tried. I'm just scared of lonely. The younger me just wanted someone to hold me. How come nobody's told me that I'm It's not that I don't love myself, I'm just learning slowly. I'm scared of lonely.
Wow. That was, I'm usually not speechless. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean that. You know, you can probably tell I'm a little emotional dude.
Me
That
too.
was
It's
beautiful.
fine.
I close my eyes and listen. Your voice is gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you.
But the words, I think we've all felt that. So it's got that universal feeling. I don't know. Everything about it was absolutely on point, and
Thank
I loved
you.
it.
Thanks for letting me play it.
Oh my God.
The first time I've gotten to play it like that.
At first, when I took you off, I'm like, is that her singing? That's how good it sounded.
Oh, thank you so much.
Kudos to you. That's beautiful. What a great song. And you definitely felt the emotion in that. All right. So tell people how they can find you, how they can download your music. Guys, buy music. This is how we support our creatives, how they can find out your schedule and all the things that you're doing.
So I am most active on my Instagram. I'm always responding to comments and messages on there. So if you want to chat with me, my Instagram is Khiana Noel. And then my Spotify is also Khiana Noel. So those are the places I'm on most, chatting and hanging out and creating playlists of music I love for y'all to listen to. But I'm also on every other streaming platform. So Apple, iTunes, iHeartRadio, anywhere you can find music, I'm up there. So
amazing. All right. Y'all go out and support creatives like Khiana. Look at her pouring her heart and soul out on a little TED Show presentation. So you know when you have that kind of passion, you can't hide it. And that was amazing talent. Thank you, Khiana, for coming on the show. Go to Instagram.com, find her at Khiana Noel. Reach out, get involved, follow her playlists, download her music. To me, that's the most important thing. I want more people to hear that passion. Thank you, Khiana, for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Ted.
Amazing. Thank you. All right, guys. We'll be back around 5 o'clock for Giving Tuesday. But go out and support Khiana. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.